Okay, so I'm going to show you today a quick and simple way to do percentage changes for any value using a multiplier. Easiest with a calculator, but not necessarily required. So in this question, we've got a family whose energy consumption is 53 gigajoules apparently, last year rather, and they're going to use 8% more energy this year for some reason. So how much energy will they be consuming in the following year if it's 8% more than last year? So the thing to realise, or the thing to get set in your head, is what was the whole, the 100% that we start with. And that's always the past. 100% is always the beginning of the story. Okay, so 100% is this 53 gigajoules. The new amount will not be 100%, it will be 8% more. So the first calculation we need to do is a very simple one, and often you don't bother to write it down because it's very simple, is what on earth is 8% more than 100%? Well, very easily, that's 108%. So in fact, what we need to find is 108% of 53 gigajoules. That's what this question is asking us. What is 108% of 53 gigajoules? So we've learned from other bits of maths that lots of, and so many lots of, is multiplication. So we're going to do something multiplied by 53. Now here you've got choices, depending on how you think about percentages. Because we're going to use a calculator, I tend to go for decimal here, but you could use fractions as well. They amount to the same thing. This is 108%, and percent means out of 100. So we get 108 out of 100. Now I will usually actually write that as 1.08 because of the era I learned to use calculators in, and these fractions were harder to type. But it amounts to the same thing. These calculations are identical. Whichever one you type in your calculator, you get the same number. So 1.08 by 53 is some fraction, 57.24. That would be the same if you use this or this notation. It's the same thing. And the answer, therefore, is 57.24 gigajoules. And it's gigajoules because that's the unit in the question. Whether or not you know what that unit is, for percentage change questions, just don't change it. If we're measuring gigajoules, the answer's in gigajoules. There may well be questions where you need to think about the unit and have to deal with that as well, but for the percentage part, that's not important. So, the thing we had to get right there was to turn this 8% more phrase into this multiplication, 108 times. So the way this might change is if we're actually reducing something. So here we've got a food bill that the family are managing to reduce by 13%. So we're going to have 13% less than what we started with. It's the same idea. We always start with the whole, and we always begin with the whole, and we're losing 13%. So we're left with 87%. So this 87% takes the place of this 108%. This is below 100, this is more than 100, because this is going up, and this is, where's the reduce? Reduce, there, going down. So because it's reducing, it's going down, this number here should be below 100. Because this was increasing, this number here should be over 100. So it's the same thing though, it's still 87% of a number, so it's still going to be something times this horrible number here. Okay? And that one step, that one calculation does the whole change for you. So 0.87 times 12,740 is, again, a fraction, 11083.8. Now remember, when we're writing this number, it needs to have units. These units here are pounds. So the answer is going to be some number of pounds, looks like 11,083 pounds, and how many pence? So single decimal place can trip some people up. That 0.8 is 80 pence. So it's 11,083 pounds and 80 pence. So this single multiplication is the quickest way to do a percentage change. You don't always need to write this down, but you just need to make sure you go the right side of 100. Here we're above 100 because it was a more, and here we're below 100 because it was a reduction. It's got less. Once you've got that, it's just multiplying. This tool, this technique, helps you do so many more tricky percentage change questions, which we'll be doing later in the week, and possibly the week after as they get trickier. So this is a really key technique to practice and get right for this simple percentage change. I hope that helps. Goodbye.